Buy it, use it, break it, fix it, trash it, change it, mail, upgrade it, chart it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, name it, read it, tune it, print it, scan it, send it, fax, rename it, touch it, bring it, pay it, watch it, turn it, leave it, stock, format it. Technologic, 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 technologic. Buy it, use it, break it, fix it, trash it, change it, mail, upgrade it, chart it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it, plug it, play it, turn it, rip it, drag it, drop it, zip and zip it, lock it, fill it, call it, find it, view it, code it, jump and lock it, surf it, scroll it, pose it, click it, cross it, crack it, switch, update it, name it, read it, tune it, print it, scan it, send it, fax, rename it, touch it, bring it, pay it, watch it, turn it, leave it, stock, format it.
Harder, better, faster, stronger.
Be like it.
Harder, better, faster, stronger.
Dirty bit. Dirty bit. Caught up in the moment. That don't kill me, can only make me stronger. I need you to hurry up now. Don't act like I never told you.
Buy it, use it, break it, fix it, trash it, change it, mail, upgrade it, chart it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, name it, read it, tune it, print it, scan it, send it, fax, rename it, touch it, bring it, pay it, watch it, turn it, leave it, stock, format it. Technologic, 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 technologic.
Thank you guys, thank you so much. Hi, so that was iLuminate, a company that I started about 2.5 years ago. And it's such an honor to be asked to speak here and for my dancers and my team to get to perform here. And I guess what they wanted me to talk about was how this idea came about and how a dancer / software engineer can actually also be an entrepreneur, which the people that I'm speaking after, it's just such an honor. But basically, since I was a kid, I always danced, no matter where we went, restaurants, wherever it was, I would run up to people and ask them if they wanted me to dance for them. And sometimes I didn't even care what they said, and I danced. But I also had a different side of me that loved just thinking about math problems or just trying to figure things out. So when I was 9, I started writing software. Back in the day, it was like basic programming. I wrote like games, and I just always had this double life. So dance was more for my heart and my emotion, and computers was more for my brain. And then one of my friends challenged me and said, have you ever thought to put them together? And I never really did. I always just separated those two parts of my life. So I said no, and then I started thinking about what I would do if I put them together. And then I got this idea of, as an artist, when I was choreographing, I always wanted to try and influence what the audience would see when they're watching dance. And one of the ways you would do that is you'd say to the lighting designer, well, could you put a spotlight here, or could you put, you know, a little bit more red there? And then I realized, what if the dancer themselves illuminated, and they could actually play with the audience to create their own illusions and to actually let the dancer shine from within instead of having the light come on the dancer. So that's when I started having this idea. And I was working at the time at Bloomberg as a software engineer. I was writing financial software. And and so when I told my family I have this idea, my elevator speech wasn't very good, because you can't really talk about something like that, something you experience. So when I left Bloomberg to pursue this, it was not something that a lot of people thought would go anywhere. But I had a vision, and I wanted to see it happen. It wasn't even about the money, or it wasn't about just wanting it to be a successful company. It was just I had something in my heart that I wanted to see come to life, and I put everything I had on the line. I brought an engineer in, another software developer, and before I knew it, I had a prototype, and I had a company. And then I started telling people about it, and then the word spread, and then my first client was Chris Brown doing the BET Awards, and then all of a sudden, once he saw it, then I had people like the Black Eyed Peas coming to me, and then what really made a difference was one of my friends who I rented the software to was approached by America's Got Talent, and then we came on the TV show, and that's when people started to really see the idea, as a dancer rather than being a technology used by an artist. I was actually the artist, and that's when I guess the company really started to grow. And I guess that's when right now it's all coming together. I'm starting to really build the brand, and I guess that's just the story behind iLuminate. So thank you for having me, and I hope you enjoyed it.